Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much. For today, I would like to make a comment about some of the personalities or political personalities in this country who disagrees with the invitation of Trump to Malaysia by the Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. Now, most of those who disagree always quote the aspect of Trump being someone who is very what we call unpredictable and also has not much decorum, and most importantly his friendship with Israel and his plans for Gaza may not be something that everyone agrees with. But here's an interesting thing. Why are these critics denying a visit by a foreign leader? A leader that from a country that we have been friends for a long time, and also a very important country in terms of military as well as economic aspect. And also, why is it that we are so attuned to the idea that in politics we only work with those who we like and we do not work with those whom we dislike? Now, coming back to this central issue of working with people we like and not working with people we dislike, we can look at the unity government, how they have forged a relationship with enemies. PH was the enemy of GPS and also the enemy of UMNO, but they have been able to work. And there are many critics out there who's always harping on the idea of a pure government. There is no such thing as a pure government that the people want. There will always be something of others. And the key about politics is always working with those who are different. Politics is not about working with those who agree with you. The only thing I know about working with those who have to agree with you is a dictatorship. If you don't agree, then you get killed or you have to leave the country. So politics is about always working with different people, different ideas, different stand. And the sooner that the Malaysian people understand this, that you cannot get whom you want all the time, you always have someone that you don't want. Now, I was educated in the United States for 6 years under the JPA or Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam Scholarship. And I love United States. I love studying in the United States. My development of Islamic reform ideas began in the United States. And now, who you are or who I am when speaking with you, Malaysians, is mostly developed in the United States. Half of it there and half of it in the Reformasi movement. So, quick and dirty, where did you get your perspective from? Mostly from my studies in the United States and also some parts in Scotland during my PhD. But mostly from the United States was my formative years, especially about Islam, and a little bit about the politics of the country, which I was really too immature to understand. But the politics developed more after the or during the Reformasi movement of Anwar Ibrahim for 20 years or 25 years. So I have a soft spot for the United States always. But when Trump became president, I was not really very proud of it because my kind of president is Barack Obama. And I was really, really very excited. I've always liked to watch Barack Obama speak about how the style of his diplomacy, the style of his sternness, the style of his discipline, and his intellectuality. I mean, that is for me, the best leader ever. And when we have Trump, I was very surprised that a lot of Americans believe in the right wing, meaning racism, meaning the idea of distrusting others, meaning the idea of being in a tempurung, thinking that they are the best and others are not. Well, it's something that has happened. It is the will of the American people. We can't do anything much about it. It was a fair election and Trump won. So now we have to live with Trump. If we are going to live against Trump, then it's very easy. Forget everything. But can you do that? Can you sideline someone that you dislike, but it is very important for your future economy, future military, future education, future knowledge, and all that? To say that America is now the only country that has all those great things that people want. We also have China. China has grown so much. We have Japan. Japan is also once our enemy. China was also once our enemy, the communist revolution and all that. But here again, the past is the past, and the future is something that politics needs to look at in a different light. And this is always the case with politics, and it also must be the case with us. Something that we dislike in the past, but we may have to accept in the present, and then perhaps in the future that would give us a different idea about how Malaysia could be forged. Some people say, oh, you're changing your stand, you're changing your core value. Well, something is wrong if you don't change according to what is happening outside. For me, those who do not change their way of thinking, their way of speaking, their way of criticizing, these are the extremists of the country. Because the extremists actually do not change. And so those Malaysians who think that they are very good, that you need to work with those you like and not work with those you dislike, like UMNO, then it's very difficult for us to move ahead. So for me, firstly, Trump is a leader of a country that we have done business with, and a lot of people have gone through education there. I mean, this is a historical background. Just because of Trump, are we going to deny a visit by the president who happens to be like him? I mean, he has his good qualities, and also some people say a lot of bad qualities. Well, that's not our choice. That's not our choice. Whatever it is, like once upon a time, the Prophet Muhammad was not very happy with one person, but then he was complaining it to his wife, and then suddenly this person appeared at his door, and he invited him, treated him nicely, cordially, and then when he left, the wife of the Prophet said, "Oh, well, you were so angry at this guy. How come you were very, very nice?" Well, he's the guest. I mean, he's the guest in our house, and we should treat him accordingly. So, as a guest, we need to extend the best of us in terms of him being the tamu and the guest. Like when he went to UK, there was a lot of things that may not follow certain decorum, but we need to allow a certain leeway for the guest in a certain manner. The second thing is that America is still an economic partner and a very important source of knowledge, as well as education exchange, and a lot of concern with regard to the future of the military order in the world, which is changing now, with China becoming so strong, and also Japan perhaps will be another power to be reckoned with. NATO and the United States, these are the four powers, and maybe India is going to join the fray. So we need to find where is our position in this place, and being a small nation and not very strong militaristically, also not too strong economically, well, then we need to find a place for us. And what better way than to be having relations, diplomatic relations, cordial relations, professional relations with all. This idea of, as I said, not working with those who we dislike or those who mistrust, this is not politics. Politics is not about that. If you think that you want to be a good Malaysian, to do good politics in the country, whether you are a citizen and not a political member, it's okay. But you must understand that politics is about working with difficult things, especially with difficult people. If you don't understand that, then it's very difficult for you to discharge your responsibility as a citizen. You will go with your sentiment, I like this, I don't like that, and therefore if they are making friends, then I'm not going to come and vote at all. So that is your prerogative, but you're not being very matured about it. Then the third thing is that again, having someone with a differing view, like in Gaza, some of the writers saying Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim so much into helping Gaza, but then Trump has a different idea. So why do we need to bring them? Well, we don't have to broach that idea in a very rough manner. This is diplomacy. This is the politics. Depends on the person, and also depends on the intelligence and spiritual aspect of that person. Things can change, people can change, and it's how we treat them. If we treat them like a kafir or an enemy, then they will react according to how we view them. So I've always think that we are in charge of ourselves. We are in charge of our nation. We are representing our nation. So we give the best. Okay, regardless of a certain kind of behavior, then we need to show decorum. And this is where I think a lot of Malaysians fail. They criticize the leadership, they criticize without them having the humility to think whether there is another method, or they can themselves do better, which I doubt that they can do any better. But that again is a problem when we say that dealing with differing views. And finally, we look at the fourth situation where, who knows, perhaps when Trump comes here with our treatment as not only a Malaysian leader, representative of Malaysia, but we also Asean. And because Malaysia is the chairman of ASEAN, then we need to look out for all of the people outside of Malaysia, also ourselves. And because of that, Trump may need the help of ASEAN, and he may have differing responses when we become very accommodative in a lot of things that we show him, and also treat him very well. We don't know how he will react, and that is part and parcel of the political unknown, which is something that we need to have a better diplomacy with. And so finally, my opinion, those who are against the Trump visit has a very narrow perspective, has a very selfish perspective, does not understand the need of the country, does not understand the need of ASEAN, don't understand also the idea of working with different people of different views. And they don't belong in politics, these people who says that, oh, you must only work with people that you agree with. And so I think if we are like that, then we do not need the United Nations. We don't need to come together. We don't need to listen to, some people say a disastrous speech by Trump. I listen to it also. But then again, they are guests of the Americans, and a lot of it not depend on Trump alone. Trump does not represent America. There are people, there are government servants, there are officials, and there are many other things. It's not just about one particular person. So I hope that Malaysians can accept this idea that we are peacemakers, that we have the great diplomatic power, not to call other countries' leaders kambing or biri-biri or monyet like some political party. We are Malaysians, and we are citizens of the world, and we have our adab, we have our heritage, and we use that as the guidance for us to accept guests, treat them well, and respond positively to various accommodation that we can make that will be beneficial or of mutual benefit to all. And I think this is certainly the way forward, and not just to hide under the tempurung and live with those only that we like. With that, thank you very much.